the Texans' convincing preseason win over the Panthers was also not the most discussed thing in Houston sports. We were focusing on something that happened before the game and something that happened after the game. And in the eyes of some, this was a betrayal on the same level as the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. Just an all-timer. Benedict Arnold ain't got bleep on this because the starting quarterback for your hometown team, who I know you all love more than anything, CJ Stroud, came into the Houston Texans game wearing a variety of different things. Because you see, you can't walk in public in the nude. You can't do that. It's illegal. CJ Stroud wore a pair of shoes that were black with white shoelaces. CJ Stroud wore a pair of quarter socks. They were white. They went all the way up to the halfway point of his calves. CJ Stroud was also wearing something else. Shorts. Above those shorts, he had some sort of white t-shirt on. And can you believe this? A jacket. It's 100 degrees outside. CJ, unbelievable. What are you thinking, man? We don't want you suffering a heat stroke as you're walking into NRG Stadium.
A crazy thing to be wearing.
Unbelievable.
I can't. I'd like this guy's decision making. I call into question.
People were really mad about him wearing a Seattle Mariners hat as he walked into the stadium.
Top two most egregious thing about that outfit.
The jacket is actually more concerning.
The jacket's crazy.
It's more concerning. He wore a jacket. It's been hot this last couple of days here at H-Town.
I know that he walks from like a bus or a car to the tunnel. Even in that walk, it is too hot to be wearing a jacket in August.
It does get cold in NRG Stadium. Sometimes it gets cold here in our Gow Media studios. But the jacket is more questionable, in my opinion, than the hat. Okay? But I love that everyone was getting worked up about this. Again, we just need something to care about. So some people saw this and essentially acted like CJ Stroud is supposed to know what's happening in baseball. Hand up. I do not want CJ Stroud to know an effing thing about baseball. I want CJ Stroud to be the nerdiest of nerds when it comes to sports. I only want him paying attention to football. Specifically, NFL football. I don't even want him watching Ohio State. I don't want him allowed to watch that Ohio State-Texas game. I want him focused on the Rams, even if that's over a week ahead of the game. I don't want him to have any interests outside of football. That's a selfish thing to ask for. So he comes into the ballpark wearing a Mariners hat. And after the game, he's still wearing that Mariners hat. Someone asked him about it at the press conference. Here's what CJ Stroud had to say about something that many in Houston consider an act of betrayal.
Can you tell me about your decision to wear that?
Yeah, I mean, I love hats. Like, I wear hats all the time. I probably have every team, but I support, the Astros and the Dodgers because I'm from LA and love, it's kind of contradicting, but I still love the Astros, but it's all good. I understand, but it's all about the swag, baby. I'm just kidding.
He's goofing around here. And you know what I like the most? He doesn't care because he shouldn't. He shouldn't. He shouldn't spend a second thinking about how people are reacting to this. I saw a lot of op-eds online about what's really going on here. I've noticed there is definitely a cultural divide. I think that generally, speaking for myself, growing up, you wore the hat that represents where you're from. But for others, it's, I'm going to wear a hat that I look good in. That's the priority to Stroud. Now, I will say, I don't think the hat completed the look. Sorry to be a little bit of a second guesser here, but that hat, it did not match his jacket, and it did not match his shorts. And I don't know what you're thinking, honey, wearing these socks that are halfway up your ankles with black shoes. I mean, you look slow, honey. Come on, what are we doing here? Do we need to get the queer eye for the straight guys out there? Huh? I don't think it was that swaggy. I know there's some who are like, well, it might be because it would have been Nipsey Hussle's birthday, and Nipsey Hussle wore a Mariners hat once, but apparently he's worn a lot of different hats. Some of you guys need a life. Some of you guys need a life. I think it's hilarious that people are getting worked up about this, but everyone who engaged in this on a serious level, you need a life. You need a life. You need to get laid. You need to have a drink. You need to smoke some reefer. You got to do something. You got to do something here. If this was actually occupying your time. If you're a troll, if you're a bleep starter like me and you want to throw some gasoline on the fire, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. That's fun. That's fun to me. I like sowing a little chaos out there. But as someone who, in the course of the last year, has worn, 1, many Astros things, 2, if I'm out of clothes, I have a Mariners shirt. 3, a half Astros, half Mariners shirt. 4, a Red Sox shirt. It's a Pedro Martinez shirt. We're really getting mad about this? We're really getting mad about this? His explanation, not great. You can't be an Astros and Dodgers fan. I'm sorry. No, you can't. That actually does not work, you know? But probably doesn't care that much about baseball, to be perfectly honest.
No, he's from LA. He could have just said, I'm from LA. I don't care.
You know what? Honestly, that would have worked the best because you know what? People in LA don't care that much about sports. They don't.
I definitely don't care about your sports.
Yes.
But I get why you can't get up there and be like, asking all these people that are Texans and Astros fans and being like, listen, guys, I just don't care about the Astros. I'm sorry.
Listen, he should wear a Dodgers hat. He should.
That's where...
He should wear a Dodgers hat.
He would have gotten less flack, I think, if he would have worn a Dodgers hat.
There wasn't
people
that
would
much
be like,
swag
he's
there.
from LA.
Exactly. He's saying he had swag. Sorry, CJ, I respectfully disagree. As the most metro person in sports radio, I disagree. I didn't see a lot of swag there. Like, my shorts match my hat right now. Like, nothing. There's no matching going on here. You like the hat. You like the hat. Maybe some reference to Nipsey Hussle, who's dead or something. I don't know anything about Nipsey Hussle. I don't want to know. Everyone's like, you did something for the community. I've never heard of any of his songs, okay? That's not saying much given how musically stupid I am. But anyway, there's not a lot of swag there. And you shouldn't have said you're an Astros and Dodgers fan. That's going to piss off a lot of people. And it would be cool if there were more guys like Jalen Hurts, who in the middle of the Astros and Phillies World Series, Jalen Hurts is wearing an Astros hat out there. It would be cool if there was more of that, you know, in 2025. It would be cool.
Which, by the way, pissed off Philadelphia fans.
Yeah, it did. It pissed them off.
Like that's the thing. This isn't just an Astros thing. Like,
it's everywhere, right?
Like, Paul, you know, if who is the starting quarterback?
If Tom Brady wore a Yankees hat, I would have been mad for sure.
But
if Tom Brady wore a Colts hat, I would have also been really mad. But this is neither of those things, really.
If this is funny because it's Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold came walking in with an Astros cap into a Seahawks preseason game, would Seattle fans be like, "Oh, all right"?
No, they would freak out.
He just wears hats.
They would 100% freak out.
Geno Smith, the same thing. Like,
yeah.
It's just a thing that people do. Like, it's just like why, especially like, I think there's really like 3 hats he could not have gotten away with wearing, and he unfortunately picked one of them.
He picked one of them, and then he talked about how he's a fan of one of the other ones. And you know what? Good. He didn't backtrack at all. He's like, yeah, whatever, man. I like that part about him. He stood firmly in the pocket. He's like, basically, he doesn't care, and he shouldn't care because this is really dumb.
And I'm
funny, but it's dumb.
I'm glad because this would have also been an annoying conversation that he didn't get into the like, well, it's for Nipsey Hussle. Now, let me explain to you about hat culture in LA neighborhoods. See, the S stands for, and it's blue for Crip. And I'm glad he just didn't get into all that.
That would have been funny if he did.
It's a good lie. You're going to lie. Hey, it's for swag, all right? Swag reasons only. Keep it moving, people.
Because it probably was for Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's like the easiest way to explain
he
it.
said it wasn't, but no, I mean, this is the politician answer. I like everything. But you know what I want him to
I
not
like what you like, America.
I want him to spend not a second of his life watching baseball. Not a second. Not a second. And if honestly, you know what the good sign is? The fact that he's an Astros and a Dodgers fan and that he can wear a Mariners hat. Like, clearly he doesn't care.
Love Steph Curry.
Yes, he doesn't care. Good.
Lakers
good.
fan, probably.
No, this is good. He doesn't care about baseball. Good. I focus on baseball, on football. You can. I'll let you have basketball, but I don't even want you watching Ohio State. I don't want your blood pressure raising while watching an Ohio State game. Just like I don't want you wearing a effing jacket into the stadium when it's 100,000 degrees outside, which he did. Like that's more concerning than the hat, people. Okay.
What if he was like, Cal Raleigh's really had a great year this year. I really wanted to support what Cal Raleigh's been doing. Eugenio Suarez been a mixed bag since the deadline, but
It would be funny if he did that.
like he just goes into a long.
Yeah.
I really like Brian Wu.
Yeah.
Logan Gilbert. What an arm.
If he knew anything, any of their names, I would be mad.
Like the classic, like you asked Bill Belichick about like the long snapper and he goes on for 5 minutes, but you ask him about like the biggest story about his team and we're on to Cincinnati. If CJ Stroud gave like a 3.5 minute answer about the Seattle Mariners, that would have actually been worse.
Yeah.
That would have been the worst possible thing he could have
For
done.
sure. If he had mentioned one Mariner player there.
Shout out to Victor Robles,
God. I don't even know who that is. So like hell.
He got enough fighting in a rehab start.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll just send you the link.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Astros should get that guy. I like him. Anyway, Ryan Lost in Texas asks, what if CJ walked into the stadium wearing one of those German World War I Army helmets with the spike on the top? That would be kind of wild. Well, World War I is in bounds. That is swag. That is swag. Those helmets were sick. They were sick.
Careful.
But that is
Be
swag.
very clear about
the Nazi ones.
That's bad.
That's
Don't wear
bad.
that.
That's bad. Right.
World War I, though?
You can't come into the stadium wearing a Genghis Khan helmet because even though he decreased the temperature of the world with all the killing he did, that's not swag-tastic, okay?
I don't know. The hats look pretty cool.
helmets are cool.
The hats are cool.
East Asian armor and like samurai stuff.
But the guys were wearing in Mulan, I don't know if that's historically
yeah,
accurate.
I think that would be true. Anyway, we're having some fun here. It's the Paul Gallant Show.
Where's the full samurai suit?
Yeah.
No. They did do some unconventional things.
They killed some European people based off of the TV show Samurai by boiling them in a pot, which was kind of messed up.
Yeah, the Portuguese aren't going to like that one. The Portuguese Astros fans aren't going to like
From the 281, what if Bregman wore a Nazi hat? Stop. Jeez, that is super messed up. We're having maybe a little bit too much fun.
No. Yeah, I think that we crossed the line.
Listen, this is the stupid conversation that this segment deserved.